Greetings, everyone. You are tuned into episode 41 of the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast. I'm your host, Mr. Anderson. Thank you for tuning in today on the 13th of December, 2021. Again, like I've been saying for the past couple weeks, we are almost there. We are almost there, folks. In my opening remarks today, I want to kind of lower the temperature a little bit. If you live in the state of Kentucky or some of the surrounding areas, and even the folks that don't live in that state, you may have heard about the tornadoes that happened a couple of days ago. And it's just one of those things where, it's very rare to have a tornado in that part of the region during the winter time. I think the temperature there was like 60 something degrees or something to that effect. And, it's just one of those things in life where you really have to be thankful for what you have. Sometimes you have to be thankful for the things you don't have. You look at the town that I think it was Mayfield, Kentucky. The numbers of deaths. I don't want to quote the wrong number, but it was deaths, injuries, households destroyed, businesses destroyed, places of worship destroyed, vehicles, personal effects, materialistic items, all that. It's you think about this situation, and probably a day prior to that, people were just living their lives, enjoying life. They didn't know what the next few hours were going to bring. So I'm saying all that to say you just have to really be thankful and just be happy, where you're at. Do you want your life to be better? Of course, we all do. But I think we have to really just kind of sit down and just be still and understand what we have is great. We have, you have your materialistic things, your vehicles, your clothes, and, life accomplishments. But the most important thing you have is life. Life is it's so fragile. We're all on a time stamp. We don't know when that time stamp is going to be checked. So we try to do the best we can. So if I have any takeaways from opening remarks today, it will just value life, man. I've always said it. We only get one lap around this thing. But you got to value life, man, because people are hurting. This time of year, throughout the year, people are hurting. It's just a sad and unfortunate situation. So again, definitely my prayers and thoughts goes out to those folks that's, been in the midst of that tornado. Such a sad thing to deal with. I couldn't even bear, dealing with something like that. But just keep everyone that's in Mayfield, Kentucky, and those surrounding areas, keep them in your thoughts and prayers throughout the world, everyone. So, all right. So today on Monday Mental Kombat, I'm going to talk about dealing with certain things that disturbs your peace. And I titled it, Shutting Off the World to Protect Your Peace. And, I just talked about life. We have to protect our lives, protect the lives of others. But I think it's important that we protect our peace. Very important. So I'm going to talk about that. Shutting off the world to protect our peace. That's what we have on Monday Mental Kombat. Also, again, thank you for the followers, the subscriptions, the likes, the viewerships on all cross platforms. Again, you can find me on YouTube. Click that subscription, click the like button, and all the et ceteras. Find me on all the podcast platforms, the audio platforms. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and of course the YouTube. So, all right, let's buckle up. We got Monday Mental Kombat, shutting off the world to protect your peace. Stay tuned. Trust and believe. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast here on the 13th of December. It's Monday, so what does that mean? Monday Mental Kombat, right? So like I talked about earlier in the opening remarks, today's Monday Mental Kombat segment title is Shutting Off the World to Protect Your Peace. We have to protect our peace. So sometimes you have to shut off the world. You have to shut off everybody. Protect your peace. That's where we're at. So I broke it down into 3 categories. Again, these categories are fluid. It's just something I came up with. Some people can have 5 categories, 6. Again, this thing is fluid. It's not stuck in stone where, hey, he said these are the three and we got to go with it. This is just something I was thinking about, how to protect our peace when shutting off the world. The first one is social media. The second one is television viewing. And the third one is people. And you can break people down into family, friends, co-workers. It can almost serve as a subcategory. So let's talk about social media. The first one, protecting our peace. We all have social media. We have the Facebooks, we have TikToks, we have Instagrams, and all the social media applications we have. And the whole point of the social media, you can use them to advertise your business. You can use them to enhance or create dialogue with people that you don't know, people that you want to get to know, family, friends, people from back in the day, etc. And also social media is also a vehicle. If used right, it can be a very dynamic utility to have. When social media is used incorrectly, it can be a dynamic tool that can be a negative for everyone, for all of us. We've all been there. So let's take social media. How do I protect my peace with social media? Say you have an issue with a friend, family member, or it may not even involve you, but you find yourself jumping into the mix, as we say. Family member talking about a family member. Oh, I hate Uncle Jerry. Why you hate Uncle Jerry? Well, Uncle Jerry stole my crayon when I was 5. I'm just throwing an example out there. And now you find yourself, because you like Uncle Jerry, you're gonna stand on Uncle Jerry's behalf. How dare you talk about Uncle Jerry? He didn't take that from you. And you find yourself just going on and on. Now you arguing with other family members. So now other family members are taking all some of your deepest, darkest secrets, and they putting it all out there for everyone to see, because the comments are not just for you and that person. Everyone's seeing it. So now cousin Jenny was like, well, you like Uncle Jerry. Guess what? And you just going back and forth. And now everybody in the family hates each other. Everybody in the family hopes you never, come around anymore. And it can be a very chaotic thing when all a person had to do is, when they see these negative comments, shut the page off. Detach from the situation. That's how you protect your peace. But what happens is, everyone, and we've all done it, you start going down that rabbit hole, and sometimes you get down that rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is slippery, and you can't get yourself out of it. And then we want to blame society. We want to blame everybody. The blame is on you. It's on us. It's on everybody. Because a lot of these conversations, you don't even have to be a part of. Case in point, talking about social media, with the whole Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, they putting their lives out there, and you feel you got to respond to it. Then the stranger say something to you about it. And it just goes on and on and on to the point where, okay, where does this stop? You getting frustrated. You trying to defend 2 A-list Hollywood actors and actresses. They don't even know you. and they don't even care about you. And you find yourself defending them, even with the whole R. Kelly situation, right? He's in prison. He's locked up for the rest of his life. But there's people still out there on social media defending him and some of the things that he was doing, right? And people are defending him, and people are going down the rabbit hole, and they're like, oh, well, he did this. He made this music. Yeah, but he's still a despicable person. You have to protect yourself when it comes to this social media. Like I stated before, social media is great. It can be a fantastic vessel to engage with people on a positive sense. But it's also a vessel that can be used to demonize certain things. And when you find yourself in that situation where you're starting to argue with people, whether you know them or not, you may want to detach from that situation, reset your mentals, and live to fight another day. Because once you start something on a Monday, it's going to keep steamrolling. And now you find yourself, it's affecting your attitude. It's affecting your attitude with your family. You don't want to talk. You mad. Why you mad? Oh, they said something about Cousin Pete. Okay. Do you really have to engage in what people are saying? Now I get it. Everyone wants to defend certain people. But some people, sometimes you got to just get away from a lot of that. We talk about avoidance, contact avoidance, getting away from it. Reset yourselves because it's going to affect you. Like I stated, it's going to affect your family. It's going to affect how you talk to your friends. It's going to affect your own livelihood, which is the utmost important, right? It's going to affect how you walk around your house, how you drive your car. You get upset with somebody because someone said something on social media. You in traffic, you getting upset. You commenting back and forth. You at a red light. You upset. You mad. You frustrated because they're talking about somebody either you know or you don't know. And now someone blows their horn behind you in traffic. Now we got a whole road rage thing, all because people on social media and the negative impacts is impacting their life in a negative way. So that's things we got to stay away from. Sometimes we just got to shut this world off and protect your peace by any means necessary. Only you know how to protect your peace. I'm just trying to provide tools that's been helpful for me and it's been helpful for people that I know. Shutting off the world, protect your peace. Sometimes you got to break away from that social media. Social media is great. Not criticizing it. I'm on it as well. But when the conversation's starting to get a little dicey, when the conversation's starting to get a little, that'd be maybe a little too much for me. You can handle it. You can handle the verbiage. You can handle the situation. But do you need to be part of the situation? Do you have to be the problem solver? Do you have to be the last one to talk? Do you have to be the loudest person in the room? Protect yourself from social media. Disengage, reset, live to fight another day. Let's talk about the second one, television viewing. Well, how can you protect your peace by television viewing? We got to look at some of the shows that we are watching. Again, I'm not trying to tell everybody, hey, you need to watch this because I said so. No, I'm saying that from my own standpoint. Now, I don't really consider YouTube television. Consider it more of an application, but in this sense, I would call it television. So I have this thing where I'm really fascinated by the Italian mafia lifestyle, especially not this new generation. I'm talking like the old school cats, like from the 60s and 70s, right? I'm really fascinated by the documentaries. They show some of the pictures. Some of the pictures are gruesome with some of the murders, the way they treat people, the way they treated the family, the laws, the 5 families, all that. I guess so. I really enjoy watching this, and I'm a fan of storytelling. I love to hear people's stories. I can sit and just listen to stories, life stories, especially when it's something I'm really enjoying. Like when they talk about the Italian mafia, late 60s, like I stated, 70s, talking about the Gambinos and all the other families. And the things that they had to do, protecting their family, getting rid of the snitches and what they called the rats, putting people on ice, literally, that code of honor they had. And you look at it, it's like these people was killing each other, but they had a code. Because if this crime boss was feeling that someone was stealing some of the money, and then they found that the underboss was doing some of the things, they would just get rid of these dudes. And I ain't talking about leave and don't come back. I mean, like literally getting rid of them. But I will find myself, dreaming about some of these scenarios. Like I remember one time I watched a mafia documentary. It was on for like 2 hours. And I watched it like at 10 o'clock at night. And as soon as it ended, I went to sleep. And now I'm in my head freaking thinking about Pretty Tony and freaking Angelo. And they coming after me because I saw something when they was driving around in the Buick on the Hudson River. They put somebody in the Hudson River. They had cement shoes on. They saw me. Now they chasing me. It's like crazy. It's like, oh my God, I should have protected my peace. I could watch the whole thing about the mafia show, but did I have to watch it and then go to sleep right after? Because, the experts will tell you, if you're on social media, if you're on any type of phone or whatever, shut everything off at least an hour prior to you going to sleep. And I didn't do that. I didn't follow that smart advice, right? It's the same thing. I like listening to all these storytellers with these Crips and Bloods from like the early 70s. The stories are fascinating. The stories are demonic in the sense that you were taking out the same person that looked like you instead of using some of your smart, because these guys were smart. Instead of using some of your wisdom and tactics to make the neighborhoods better, to make the cities better, you use that to kill people, destroy, just pillage communities. But I find their stories fascinating reason because the way they grew up, it was end of the civil rights movement, the Black Panther Party, all the historical African American leaders were killed. They didn't have no self-worth. They didn't love themselves. The image of themselves was derogatory. And they started taking it out on each other that looked the same. But I find it fascinating, again, just listening to some of them stories. And then again, just like with the mafia example, I would listen to some of these old school triple OG storytellers talking about some of the things they did in the 70s and mid 70s, which is like the time period I'm really fascinated with. Then I find myself dreaming about it because I'm watching this stuff before I take a nap or before I go to bed, and even impacts during the day. So when we're talking about shutting off the world to protect our peace, are you really protecting your peace watching some of these old mafia documentaries late at night? Are you protecting your peace when we were watching 48 Hours, when we're talking about serial killers? I mean, I'm just throwing categories out there, but the whole point of this particular category is about television viewing. What are we watching that's, I want to say, crippling the way we act, but it enhances the way we act positively and negatively. So we really have to do things to shut off the world to protect our peace. And this has gotten to the point now here lately, I don't really watch a lot of TV like I used to, unless it's sports. But, I talked about the mafia documentaries and some of these Crips and Blood documentaries. I don't watch them as much as I used to because I found my peace wasn't protected. Because I would think about these things throughout the day. I wouldn't act on any of these things. But a lot of times when you consume a lot of things, it can start playing with your mind. The Get Up Boys had a song back in 91, My Mind Playing Tricks on Me. And they start playing with your mentals, and it was very frustrating. You trying to get a good sleep at night and you think about some mafia cats. You know what I mean? So you have to protect your peace. Watching any negative visuals, anything that may be negative. We all want entertainment. I'm not saying stop watching everything, but I think the best way to protect our peace when it comes to television viewing is maybe not watch something, maybe not binge watch some of these shows. Probably more importantly, let's not watch some of these things that we deem negative so late at night. Again, I know people like to watch the first 48. Some people are fascinated watching like serial killer movies, mafia. It could be anything. Even some of the great shows. What we have to do is protect our peace, shutting off the world. Sometimes we got to shut off the television to protect our peace. It's like even now, sometimes when I'm watching like ESPN and some of these shows, a lot of the talking back and forth, the arguing, everybody this, I know more than you. I'm the loudest person in the room. I'm the smartest person in the room. I know more. My peace sometimes is affected because I don't want to constantly hear 2 or 3 people talking over each other, talking loud over each other when they're trying to make a point, and then they talking so much they done forgot what the point is, and then the moderator is trying to intervene. They don't let that person talk. It can be very frustrating. It's not very peaceful. What I found for myself that's become an asset for me is I go on YouTube. I'm a big fan of YouTube, and I type in some of these I guess mental relaxation tunes. I know we do one we have that we play throughout the house. It's a holiday season and they just play holiday music, all instrumentals for 3 or 4 hours. I find somewhere I can watch the waves, the oceans in Japan and some of these other foreign places. I'll have one where it's like a train. I think it's in Norway, either Norway or Ireland. And the train just going through the snow. So picturesque, so beautiful. And I start watching these things lately, probably in the last month, on a daily basis. And I find it so peaceful, so therapeutic. It's tranquil. When we have heavy days, we're watching the news. I forgot about the news. People are watching the news. Like my parents, they'll watch CNN and CBS and watch all these news shows all day, every day. And then it's just start playing with your mind. I'm saying all that to say television is great. Television viewing is great, But at what cost is it playing with our mentals? Again, we have to shut off the world and protect our peace. We have to, because it's like Denzel Washington said, you feel guilty about the news, but then Denzel Washington said, if you watch the news, you misinformed. On the contrary, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. And I try to tell my parents that, because they watch the news all day long. Something happening with a major court case, they watching it all day long. And it gets to a point where it really starts playing with your mentals. So my advice, when you get to the point where you feel you consuming so much news, when you feel you consuming so much negative documentaries, when you feel you consuming some things that's going to play with your mentals when you sleep at night, let's detach, let's shut off the world, and let's protect our peace. We have to. Last one I'm going to talk about is people. People. We know people are a beautiful thing. I talked about the lives early when, treasuring life. It is. But there has to be a point where there are people in your life that are negative, that are not fun to be around. And we're all taught as kids, love everybody. I'm a fan of that. I believe you should love everyone wholeheartedly. I can't say that enough. I believe and I know you should love everyone. However, comma, and I put comma in 98 font. However, comma, gosh dog it, you ain't got to like everybody. And this can go from family. This can go to friends. This can go to coworkers. You don't have to like everybody. I think it's a requirement, again, that you love them, but I don't think you have to like them. And there's a lot of people that I grew up with that I consider family, consider friends, co-workers, so on and so forth. Even in my military career. Love them. Love them. Love them. Folks, some people, you just don't like them. And the best way for me, it's easy because you could detach from them. It's very easy to do. Some people, I won't say it's too easy. Some people can't. But if you find someone in your circle that is constantly complaining without solutions, constantly negative without any positivity, constantly, why is this? Woe is me. Guilt trips, all the et ceteras. In order to protect your peace, you may have to just detach from them. We talked about detaching from television viewing. You may have to detach from loved ones. Because I'm sorry, again, we all want to have this picture perfect portrait of everyone happy, everyone smiling. That's not the society we live in. That's not the world we live in. So why do I want to risk my happiness just to put a fake smile? Why would you want to risk your happiness just to put a fake smile around people that you really don't like? You're not protecting your peace. You're putting yourself in a bad situation that can lead to words being said, that can lead to negative actions being done. Again, it could be anybody. The biggest thing, protect your peace around people. If you go somewhere, it's like, take case in point yesterday, going to Walmart. I knew I was taking a chance on protecting my peace when I walked in Walmart and I saw 55,000 people in there, all talking with each other, all standing in the way with their carts, the aisle going vertically. They got the carts horizontally, and they're just standing there. The guy's picking dirty grapes out the bag, taking off the vine and eating, which is disgusting. Wash your freaking grapes. Wash your fruit, right? And I knew my peace wasn't protected because I'm around all these people, and I suffer documented PTSD issues, right? So I already knew I wasn't protecting my peace when I walked in there. And it was just people on people. People in the way. People can't say excuse me. You say excuse me, they can't hear you. It was just a bombardment of negativity. And then I'm in the store and all the items that's on our list, some things not on the list. So now you get frustrated. It was just a frustrating day. And I already was dealing with my heel issue, so on and so forth. The point I'm making is people can frustrate you. Shoot, you can frustrate people. But how do you protect yourself? Taking yourself out of a situation where you know you may end up responding in a negative manner, or it may alter your positive thinking. We've all been in situations where we can walk into a store, family member's house or whatever it is, positive. And all it takes is one slight eye, one comment, one thing can just trigger the whole thing. So what do you do to protect your peace? You just stay, you just don't go around. So I knew yesterday I probably could protect my peace a little bit better if I went to a store that didn't have a lot of people there. You know what I mean? I could have protected my peace if I had went to the store maybe at an earlier time or maybe the day before. Just some things to kind of think about. So again, do not feel obligated because you grew up with this person's in your family, this person's a coworker. If that person disturbs your peace, if that group of people disturb your peace, you have the authority, you have the right to detach and reset. You have the right to disengage and reset. You have that right because at the end of the day, only you can protect you, right? We have to think of it that way. And it's not that you're trying to be mean. It's not that you're trying to shun people. It's not that you're trying to say, well, I'm better than you. No, the whole point of this is protecting your peace. Now, there's some things you have to sacrifice, right? If you're a dad and mom, you have to sacrifice for your kids, and you may have to be in a situation where you don't want to be in. You know, your kid needs this computer and you're in a store full of people, you're fighting the crowd, so on and so forth. All I'm saying is there are times where you may have to do things you don't want to do that may disturb your peace, but there are more often times where you have that choice to not have your peace disturbed because your peace is important. Your peace is you. Your peace has virtue. So why not protect it? Why not protect your mentals? Why not protect your way of thinking? You see it on social media all the time. People don't go visit no more. People don't go back to their neighborhoods no more. Why? Because they're protecting their peace. They're valuable. Their husbands, their mothers, their fathers. I don't want to deal with none of that stuff you used to deal with when you was growing up. This cat used to talk to me in a rude way 30, 40 years ago. I don't want to be around this cat. I don't care if we related. You know what I mean? I'm protecting my peace. You're not putting yourself in a situation where something may be regrettable. You may say something wrong. You know, protect your peace, people. I have to protect my peace. My family has to protect their peace. You have the right and authority to protect your peace. And sometimes that means just shutting off the world. It's easy. Shutting off that light, closing the door. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. You have to protect your peace because only you are responsible for you. I can't say that enough. You are responsible for you. So if I had to take away anything, if you had to take away anything from this segment, protect yourselves, people. When you're out and about, protect your peace. It's very important. Your peace is important. Your mindset is important. Your mentals are important. Protect yourself. And everything will be all right. All right, hope we all got something out of it. No, I kind of jumped back and forth. But again, episode 41, Monday Mental Kombat, talking about shutting off the world. The segment was shutting off the world to protect your peace. And the three categories I used were social media, television viewing, and people. And people is broken down into co-workers, family, friends, so on and so forth. So again, hope we got something out of it. Today on the 13th of December, this has been Monday Mental Kombat. I thank you guys for tuning in. I want you guys to have a great day. And more importantly, if you don't do nothing today, please protect your peace. It is so important. Trust and believe. See y'all tomorrow.